These are my favorite drugstore bronzers. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I thought I could come on here and share with you some of my favorite bronzers from the drugstore. I have 6 of them, 3 powders, 3 liquids and creams. That's what I still have in my makeup collection after I decluttered it in March. I'm sure that if I go through my declutter, I can find some other things that I love, but I know that those are for sure no longer either available or they are too old or I didn't love them as much to be sharing them with you. So that's why I have 6 products here for you. Bronzer is always a slightly smaller category in my makeup collection. I know there are people out there who try massive amounts of bronzer. I'm not that person. As you can see, I'm quite pale, so finding good bronzers can actually be quite challenging. And I have the things I like now, and so I don't really feel I need to try more, is what I'm trying to say. So these are 3 powders and 3 cream and liquid bronzers that I think are really good from the drugstore. We are getting started with, I think, one of the best launches at the drugstore in years, and it's by NYX. It's the Buttermelt bronzers. The blushes are also really nice. I haven't really found a highlighter shade yet that I want to try from this line, but these are really good and I really enjoy it. This is in number 2, All Buttad Up. And I got this one because shade 1 looked really yellow in the pan. And when I swatched this, it seemed to have a little bit of a more neutral pinky undertone compared to other things that I have in my makeup collection. And that's why I like this one so much. It's got a little bit of a glow. You can see here that it's quite a pinky tone, which I really enjoy. When it comes to bronzers, if they're too yellow or orange leaning, it doesn't look right against my skin tone, so therefore shades like this work better. And I have just found, especially within bronzers, I don't really look at the number as much anymore. Like, I don't just blindly buy the lightest shade because I'm the lightest shade in a lot of ranges usually, but I tend to look for undertone now a little bit more. And pinky tone bronzers can be really difficult to find. I have heard that MAC is doing a really good one, so I'm sort of curious to like when I find myself at a MAC counter to like swatch a couple of things and see what I like there. But yeah, I'm really curious as to whether like I can find more pinky tone bronzers. But this one is at the drugstore and it's really, really good. It's very pigmented though. You only need a little bit and it's going to work a long way. NYX has gotten a little bit expensive, of course, over the past couple of years. It's not as affordable as it used to be, is what I'm trying to say. Another one is one that is going to be harder to find because unless you have access to Soap & Glory makeup, which I can find if I'm in Boots in the UK, is the Soap & Glory Solar Powder Bronzer. This is a long-standing favorite in my makeup collection. This is actually a product that I have the earlier rendition of. Hit pan on it and then they discontinued it and it was nowhere to be found. And then last year, randomly, I was walking around Boots, found this, and I fell in love again. So the Solar Powder Bronzer, this used to come in different shades. It now only comes in one and it's light. And we can tell from how much I've already used this again, how much I like this. So again, Soap & Glory isn't the cheapest brand on the planet, you could say, but I really like it. And this has a lighter, more shimmery side and a matte, like more satiny matte, darker side. And previously I was hitting pan a little bit more quickly on the light side of the bronzer, and then it became too dark for me, so that's why I had to declutter it, and then I couldn't repurchase it. This compared to the NYX, the NYX one looks peach against this. I'm gonna warn you, because this does have a little bit more of a yellow undertone. Like, if I have to go for like a range of bronzers that doesn't really do a lot of undertones, I always check whether it's yellow as opposed to orange, because orange always looks horrible on me. I found out quite early on that if it has a yellowy undertone, I can still make it work quite easily. But as you will see when we get to some of the cream and liquid options that I have for you, you can find really excellent cooler tone things that some people would call a contour, but even the brand just calls it a bronzer in at least one case. So I tend to use contour shades as bronzer on myself. I know a lot of people are against that, but I'm like, I want to find shades that work for me, and if it's contour shades that give me the look that I want with a bronzer placement, I'm just going to use it, because you don't need to do what it says on the tin. You need to make things work for you rather than just like hate everything you buy. Another really good one is by Kiko. Again, Kiko is not the cheapest either, but they do some really good things. This is the shade you can currently get. This is the Flawless Fusion Bronzer in shade 8. I also have shade 1, which they no longer do. And that's why this has only been swatched. I don't use it too often unless I want to do like a full face of Kiko. I'm first trying to hit pan on my shade 1, and then I want to go into this. And this is a little bit more neutral. So I think we actually have a really good array here. This is a matte bronzer, but it's really, really smooth. You can again see it looks a little bit peachy like this one does compared to the Soap and Glory one. It's not super orange though. It's light enough. It has this hint of something almost like pinky, cool toned. I really like this. It's a very good neutral option for me. I like the Soap and Glory one very much in the like spring summer season. I tend to use something like the NYX Butter Bronzer more like post summer, also because it is so pigmented. Then I want to like, I can emulate that sun-kissed look with it. Like if I like, because when I tan, I don't tan. So I shouldn't confuse you there, but if I do end up sitting in the sun, I go more pinky red than I do bronze. I just don't, that's just not an option for me. And then I really like my Kiko one in like the fall winter season, because then it's a little bit more neutral. So it really depends on the season, what looks right for me and what goes with my coloring. Also with like how the light hits things, I do feel having different options like this is really, really helpful. Those were the powders already. And here we have the liquids and creams. The cream stick by Kiko, we all know I like this. You guys put me onto this one. You recommended it to me. It's the Sculpting Touch Creamy Stick Contour in shade 200. This is lovely. I'm going to swatch it next to the other one. And the brand calls this a contour stick. Remember that when you look at the swatch. Because this, on me, not a contour, hun. Not a contour. Not in a million years. But here you can see again that it definitely has a bit more of a yellowy undertone. It's light enough that it works for me. The formula is amazing. I feel like this Kiko contour stick is really, really similar to something like the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. So formula-wise, this is really close. Kiko is the brand that I feel has a lot of formula dupes for more high-end brands. So if you want really good quality makeup, but you want it at half the price, then going to Kiko can be worth it. They are officially not a drugstore brand though. I feel they are, and they have standalone stores is what I'm trying to say. So that you will not go into a drugstore and then find Kiko there. You're gonna have to go to a Kiko store to find them. But they do sales very often. I feel price point wise, Kiko is very similar in price to like a L'Oreal or a Max Factor over here. So they're like the higher end of what the drugstore will give you. Foundations retail for around like 20 euros. A bronzer like this is around 15. So it's not super cheap, but it does give you really good makeup at half the price. Like the Rare Beauty contour stick, like the Rare Beauty contour stick is like over 30 euros. And then Kiko will give it to you at like 15, you know? So it's that comparison that I'm really looking for. So it's going to be cheaper than getting the high-end version of it. But Catrice came out with this year, the Sculpt and Charm Contour Stick. This is in Ash 010. And you're going to see the difference when I swatch this next to it, how gray this is compared to everything else. And people are going to say, that's not a bronzer, that's a contour. Yes, on most people it will be, but do you see how like purpley gray this is? It's so yummy. In the winter time, this works for me really well in the same area where I've applied bronzer today. I tend to wear shades like this mainly in the dead of winter when I'm at my palest. You do have to bear that in mind. I mean, bronzer can do different things. Contour shades, as I mentioned, I like to use as bronzers because For me, the way I like to place my bronzer is more like a contour anyway. So that's why contour shades like this work really well for me. Just don't apply it this concentrated. Can I show you? Because this is really creamy and really easy to blend as well. I'm just going to put a little dot here, and then I'm going to hopefully show you how light this is when you blend it. That's what it looks like blended out. So it's not going to look like this on your skin. It looks like this, yeah? This is why swatches can be very helpful to see like the different like shades and undertones if they're very full on swatched, but it gives you no indication of what it will do on the face. This shears out so much, it's not going to look gray and ashy on your skin. Don't be afraid of that. And then last year they actually came out with the liquid bronzer. So they're not calling this a contour. And this is in the shade Tan Lines. This is 005. And this is also something that I've seen a Irish creator on TikTok recommend as a great bronzer option for people with really pale skin. This is essentially just a liquid version of the stick I just showed you. So depending on what you have access to, like you can even say like shade wise, it's even the same. Like this is perhaps a little bit more purple than this is. This has a bit more brown to it, but this again, like because it's a liquid, I can like shear it out a little bit more easily. Like the stick sets down super quickly. This is a little bit more pigmented, but again, you can very easily like just apply this and then it's not going to look that intense. And you can see when you like blend it out, it's not that gray. It's not as if you're like gonna look dead. Yeah, it's not gonna make you look like you've just risen from. Yeah, so that's the Catrice liquid one. And these are the 6 bronzers. I'm like, yeah, from the drugstore. These are the only 6 things that I currently have going on in my personal makeup collection. These are top tier for me. I really enjoy all of these so much. And as I mentioned, some of these have been favorites for a while, or they are more recent finds. And I think that maybe if you were looking into a good bronzer at the drugstore, you have access to some of these, that you can very easily find them as well. So thanks so much for watching this video today. I know it was a quick one, but yeah, there was only 6 products in my makeup collection, so there's only so much to chat about then, right? So thumbs up this video if you liked it, subscribe, and if you want to see more by me, you can check back this channel because I post 4 times a week, or my other channel where I post once a week. So links to that is also in the description box down below. So if you want to find me wherever, you can. And I hope to see you again really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.